For me, what I know, what motherhood is not for me, like for some people, like a continuation. I'm not really thinking that something should be left to the earth, kind of, for me. It's really just a like a journey and joy somehow. I don't even think it's responsibility for me. I don't carry it like, although it's sometimes hard times as a mother, but I think the overall meaning for me is not that it's something that is being responsible. It's something, I don't know, something that it's is something that you can share the world with, somehow to look at them to grow, see these achievements happening. I think I think motherhood is something like that. It's really personal between him and me, and the bond between him and myself.
Welcome to the How It Feels to Be a Mother podcast, where we dive into the emotional complexities and varied experiences of motherhood. I'm your host, Sarah Broberg. This judgment-free zone is a place where mothers can express their authentic feelings and experiences as whole human beings. In each episode, we'll explore the catalyst question at the heart of this movement. How does it feel to be a mother? Through engaging discussions with mothers from diverse backgrounds from around the world, we'll explore the complexity of emotions along the continuum of motherhood. Join us as we speak with mothers from all walks of life, from those with infants to those with adult children, uncovering the vast emotional continuum of motherhood. Whether you find motherhood to be a blessing or a challenge or somewhere in between, sometimes all at once, this podcast is here to validate your feelings and to break the stigma, shame, and guilt that can often accompany maternal experiences. Tune in and be a part of a movement that empowers mothers to embrace the emotional depths of what it really feels like to be a mother. Join the conversation. Welcome to the How It Feels to Be a Mother podcast. Today, we're discussing the emotional complexities of motherhood with Annalena, who shares her experience of being a mother to her 17-year-old son, her perspectives on the deep personal bond they share, and how this relationship has evolved and shaped her understanding of motherhood. Annalena reflects on her decision to become a mother and the subsequent journey that wasn't just about responsibility, but a shared exploration of life with her son. She discusses the challenges and surprises of motherhood, the joys of witnessing her son's growth, and the personal adjustments she has made to prioritize his needs, including relocating to another country for his education. She offers her insights into the emotions, trials, and rewards of raising a child, the psychological and emotional landscape of motherhood, and the personal growth and enduring bonds that define her motherhood journey.
So I'm 50 years old. Well, did you ask too many questions? I'm 50 years old. I'm married. My son is 17, turning to 18 in October. And what were the other questions?
And preferred pronouns. I'm assuming she, her, and he, him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the question that was the catalyst for this whole project is, what does it feel like to be a mother?
Ooh. What does it feel that? So you're asking a question that you can answer yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a privilege for sure. And I think something that you maybe can't really understand without experiencing it. I don't think I really understood the feeling of being responsible of someone. For me, what I know, what motherhood is not for me, like for some people, like a continuation. I'm not really thinking that something should be left to the earth, kind of, for me. It's really just a like a journey and joy somehow. I don't even think it's responsibility for me. I don't carry it like, although it's sometimes hard times as a mother, but I think the overall meaning for me is not that it's something that is being responsible. It's something, I don't know, something that is something that you can share the world with, somehow to look at them to grow, see these achievements happening. I think my yeah, I think motherhood is something like that. It's really personal between him and me, and the bond between him and myself, which is the motherhood. It's not the continuation or hard responsibility, or it was an obligation for me. As you know, nobody was asking me to have that child. I don't think even my husband really wanted to have a child at the time. I wanted to have a child. It was more or less my decision to have a child. So it is this bond between us, me and him. Maybe if I had other children, I would think differently, or I would have the same idea of the motherhood between me and him. If there were several, I don't know if this is coming just because of just us, me and him. But yeah, I think this is what it means maybe as the first thing that comes to my mind about it.
Hmm. Does it feel like you thought it would?
If it feels like what I thought it would be,
Does being a mother feel like,
I didn't. I'm also very strange. I really couldn't figure out how it would be, and I even couldn't when I had a baby. When he was baby, I couldn't figure out how the life would be when he's 10. Like I was really in I was just really, my motherhood was really living in the time that I was living in. It was, I don't know why. I know children who are 10 and 15, but I couldn't imagine how the motherhood would be. Um, and also another thing, that I didn't have a good relationship with my mother. So maybe that's also another reflection of why maybe this personal bond type of motherhood is so important. I'm so much focusing it, because I didn't really have a relationship with my mother. I mean, for the from during my teenage years, and actually it's reflecting until as today. I still haven't managed to recover from the childhood time. So that must be also, I think I'm conscious also as a mother that I wouldn't be like repeating the mistakes that my mother did. And when I see in myself my mother, I get shocked, because I don't want to be the one, but I'm sure I have a lot of things which are coming naturally from my childhood also, and they are building part of the motherhood. Maybe one of the responsibility parts of the motherhood for me is that, I think in the end you want that package that you had, to like manage the life, find he needs to find his place in the world. And I think that if we go to the responsibility, maybe the responsibility that I don't imagine, that maybe I don't relax until I know that, he's okay, and he knows what he does, or he can take care of himself. I think that's maybe a part of this motherhood stress, which is there, and you can't stop being mother, or thinking of it until this is done. And for me, motherhood, this I don't have this continuously in me, this stress. This is on and off. It depends what happens in my life or in his life, that whether motherhood is a stress for me, or whether is this just this cohabiting and moving forward, with the time. Yeah, the motherhood.
do you think how it feels to be a mother has changed over time for you?
Yeah, definitely. Again, okay, this is the story of one child. I think that it would be very different. Yeah, I think I was having a lot of stress, but it's maybe because of the first child, just of managing. A child survive because it's your responsibility when it's little. So I believe that I don't I if I would have a second child, I wouldn't have all those stresses of what they eat and what they don't eat, and if they cry or they don't cry. I think in that terms, definitely I've grown. I learned. It was a learning process, right? So yes, as a mother, I've gone through a learning process. So that for sure has changed.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about what it feels like to be a mom?
Asking someone, so what's my favorite thing? My favorite thing in motherhood. I guess that there is someone who is um, I mean, I have this bond. He's always in contact with me. I guess that the existing, yeah, the fact that there's always someone who is, in contact with me is the one. I mean, it will not die. I mean, I can divorce my husband, but the child, he will stay with me forever. So I guess this idea of kind of eternity in this relationship is kind of the best thing, something that is always there. Yeah, always, this, yeah, yeah, the feeling of something eternal. It's not eternal, but it feels like something that is not gonna go. I mean, it's gonna go away after I die, but or he dies, but not before that.
Yeah. What concerns you about what it feels like to be a mom?
What concerns? My God, you have so many good questions, Sarah. This is such what concern? Yeah, I think the concern really is, and I think it's a thing that I've been thinking a lot is, and I think all the moms things, whether the thing that you choose to do is the right way. Because there are millions of ways to do and millions of ways to be mother, millions of ways to address issues with your child or be the someone. Are you strong enough? Are you kind enough? Are you, we're speaking about what role have you taken? Should I be more friend? Why I'm so tough all the time? Is this where is this gonna? I think none of us knows, and it's really it's like it's kind of a mission impossible to know. I mean, you can't. You just try to do your best, and yeah, there's no manual for it. You can't because your child is also different. So you can read books about the positive parenting, which I've done, and all that, but I think the concern is that you will never know actually whether you did the right choices with your child, right?
Like what you're hearing? We'd love your feedback. Please leave a review. What surprises you about what it feels like to be a mom?
I think what surprised me maybe was in the end that I wasn't imagining that it would be somehow maybe more difficult. And then, just, things get settled and you find your way as a mother. Yeah, it's, as I'm saying, reading these books before the child is born and all that is important, but because you really think that it's might be, hard, and then actually it turns out that, you can manage and you can find your own ways to deal with your child and be what you are. Maybe I was also really wondering, how would I be able to work and have children? That's another issue. Like the mother me and the work me, and like the work is important for me, like it's for you as well. It's something. It's very significant part of my life. I really like doing work like you. So how to match that? It was also something that I wasn't really sure at all um, by that time. But so far, it seems I've managed. And definitely also surprising maybe is that you can find these roles. I was just telling you that I moved to another country so that he could go to school. I don't really like the work. Like obviously, I'm putting the motherhood in a more in a front role at the moment. But I think still yeah, I'm actually surprised that as I'm saying, I'm managing to do it so well after all. Finding these different roles. I didn't think it would be that easy.
Good for you. That you're going to give a lot of people hope.
Yeah, it seems to be like, okay, maybe I'm also like, because I've been living a long time in Egypt when nothing works fine. People always say me like, you're very acceptable. Yeah, I don't want a big fight, a lot of things, because halas, everything is so difficult often, so I let go a lot of things, I guess. And that's like, if a friend of mine was saying like, where shall we go to eat? And they were like, oh, Annalena will eat anywhere. And it's true. If I meet someone, I say, yeah, anywhere, because I don't want to have this hassle of thinking. So yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, it's also Yeah, of course. And my motherhood is a reflection of who I am and where I've been living. I've been living like you in a very complex society of Egypt that has, modified me as a person, and then in turn has also, definitely influenced all this motherhood and motherhood choices and the role that I'm willing or wanting to take. And also, I have to mention something that then, because my background also is in Finland, where gender equality is such an important issue, a big thing. Um, I think here comes another thinking in it, because I have to make sure that I'm not too much telling that, Finland, you can't be too much mother and then less working person. You should be more working person and less the mother, I guess. It would be kind of more acceptable. So I think coming here is and kind of living the life is not so um, maybe not so seen. It's not the cultural motherhood here in this part of the world which I'm living. So I have to be kind of careful, and I'm sure that also made a lot of internal thinking in me, like what I'm doing right now, like that I'm really giving up stuff and just doing this for him. And like when he has bad mood, I'm also thinking it like two times, like why I'm doing this. So when he has, teenager bad mood or something, I'm like, oh my God, like I don't know. But yeah, it's a sort of kind of, I guess, I'm now reflecting, but it doesn't mean like I'm continuously thinking about this. I'm not actually analyzing at all this way. So it's coming like maybe now sounds like, oh my God, she's thinking so much. No, I'm not really, really analyzing my situation, but I'm aware that I've been putting ahead this bigger mother role for the past 3 years now, actually.
It's funny that you say that you don't really like spend a lot of time like contemplating it, even though you're exquisitely reflective right now. But are there people in your life with whom you have conversations about what it feels like to be a mom?
I don't think so. No, no, no. As a mother, you just talk about how your kids are doing, what they're doing, but you don't really question. You don't know. I think you, as a mother, is left out of these discussions entirely, and thinking as well. I don't think anybody is. I think even like if your Joey was asking how does it feel, it's even normally in the Mother's Day, nobody's asking this question. They just say Happy Mother's Day, and then you're expected to be happy. You're right. And
Yes,
then
exactly.
people do happy things to you, and that's it. So I mean, like, I don't think anybody ever asked me this question in the Mother's Day.
Yeah, and he didn't mean it like in a serious way. Of course, me, like I took it like so serious.
Oh my God, I can't
It's like, oh God, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, is there anything related to this topic or how it feels to be a mother that we haven't talked about that you think is important?
Hmm. I don't think so, but I mean, I think just maybe something to just reflect about that. Of course, I don't know who these people are you're going to interview, but I think in a lot of part of the world, the motherhood is not so, it's more written in the stones, and it's not, you don't have the freedom to choose the kind of mother you are, or even if you want to be a mother. I think this is that was. I think we are very privileged actually in our part of the world, and we can actually, choose what we are and how we are and what kind of mothers we want to be. I think also our roles and the ones that you want to be is much, much, it's possible to decide and plan, but in some other countries, it's decided. Other people decide who you are and how you should be feeling about it. So I think
That's a fantastic point. Learn more about how it feels to be a mother by visiting howitfeelstobeamother.com and following us on our socials. Please join the conversation. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this podcast, including those of the host and guests, are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any entity they represent. Appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The content presented is solely for general informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. The use of information provided on this podcast or materials linked from the podcast or website is at the user's own risk. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical or mental health condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.